How you look has become very important. If you see, every beauty magazine almost ends up making you feel ugly because you're not so perfect. Your hair is not so right, your body is not so this, your skin is not so perfect. New modern woman for me is the one who is open-minded, who is truly liberal, whose liberal ideas are being tested by her own daughter and her own son, by her own life choices. The one who realizes that life is about choices and that to make mindful choices. The one who doesn't shy away from, doing things that is good for her and for others around her, who has a social conscience. I think, she's a modern woman. But for me, it was not such a linear journey. I didn't even want to be an actor. It was completely by default and by accident. I lived in my social work and I was working with NGOs on issues of women primarily, but also children, discrimination. And then I did FIRE, and I realized that film can give you such a platform to talk about things you really care for. When you're acting in various films, you also then start itching to tell your own story, because sometimes you think a project will be good and it doesn't turn out so good. And then you think, oh, I wish I could tell my own story in my own way. And in 2002, when the Gujarat riots happened, it really shook me up, because it was the first time we were seeing images of a riot on television. Otherwise, you hear things, you read things, of course you're moved by it. But that really sort of troubled me, that in our country today, we have so much of prejudice, so much of anger, so much of sense of retaliation. So I wanted to really deal with emotions, human emotions, of people after an act of violence, when the violence is over, when you think things are becoming normal. What are people still grappling with? And that's how Firaaq was born. I didn't really start out to think that, oh, let me direct a film and let me look for a story. I think those stories kind of compelled me to become a director. Yeah, so when I did FIRE, I didn't know that it would get attacked in the way that it did. I knew that it would raise a debate, there would be conversations around it, but I didn't think that people would physically be, sort of thrown out of theatres and they'd be broken down. I would have a police outside my house but I think if your conviction is strong, you don't need to look for courage. It will automatically follow. The problem is sometimes we don't have strong convictions. When we ourselves are shaky in our convictions, then if I'm unsure about something, you telling me something will also, I'll say, yeah, that's also true. He'll say something, I'll believe that, and but if you're strong in your conviction, if you really are driven by, if you have a belief that, no, I think this is the right thing. I think non-violence is more important than anything else. Or if I feel that violence only begets violence. Violence can never be a solution, for anything. Or discrimination on the basis of caste, gender, religion, or sexual preference, or anything is really unfair to any human being. When you have strong convictions, then you speak from that place. And you don't need to then look for courage. The courage automatically will follow that conviction. So there are many different people. I've been very fortunate that many different people have inspired me. And these are not just big names. These are, ordinary, quote unquote, because they're not ordinary people at all. I think they're extraordinary people. Especially those who have a courage of conviction. Those who, despite the hardest of times, have stuck to their guns. Have believed in something, and despite all the threats and all the attacks, have just carried on relentlessly.